Let's begin with, what is mobile intelligence? Mobile intelligence is a browser-based solution that can be accessed from any computer or mobile device with an internet connection. This provides your key stakeholders the ability they need to pull information and data while in the office or out in the field. Since mobile intelligence is a browser-based solution, users are not required to log into 300 security, and permissions are based off of their user's profile. That way, users can only see what they have access to. No longer will your users be reliant on running reports from the office or having office staff send them manually. Those reports can now be accessed in real time using mobile intelligence. Mobile intelligence can be broken into two pieces of functionality. Mobile reports, providing the ability to run crystal-based reports, canned or custom, via the web, providing the user all of the same parameters and conditions they would see if running the report from the office. These can be canned crystal reports like your JC job overview or your AR aging with detail. Mobile dashboards provide you the ability to design and view dashboards via the web, providing key stakeholders within your company up-to-date information and visual representations of your choice, like graphs, charts, or even lists. You'll want to upgrade to version 18.2 in order to take full advantage of our mobile intelligence features. You will access these new features from the Sage Construction Central website. Sage Construction Central is our site that allows you to access these web-based features. This site was created specifically for your company to securely connect to your back office data and reporting via the web. I'll be using the next few minutes to provide a walkthrough of mobile reports and dashboards from our Sage Construction Central website. Here's our Sage Construction Central site back on my server or out on my field laptop. As you can see, I've logged in with my profile and it's authenticating all of my mobile intelligence security cross-referenced with all of my 300 CRE security. Everything I see today will be mainly from the admin login, so you're going to see a whole lot of functionality that you normally wouldn't grant a non-admin user to have access to. Here in the top right, you'll see my company name, which indicates my ability to have multiple data folders pulled directly into my mobile intelligence website. This means if you have a separate divisions by folder, I'm able to break that up within the system as well, providing me further security access to grant users out in the field permissions to the electricity data folder versus the service data folder. Over here on my left-hand side will be my intelligence dropdown with my mobile reports and dashboards. And first, going into my mobile reports, these once again will be the crystal-based reports that I usually run from the office, but now accessible from my mobile device. Here in my default list, I have all of my crystal reports listed. We have some visual indicators to give me what exactly I'm looking for. As you can see, I have the report name, the description of that report, and some keywords. All of these are searchable directly from my search function at the very top, so I can type in those keywords or even names of the reports or even words from the description to easily get to those. From this dropdown, I'm able to group and even create favorites for the reports that I'm looking to run. Grouped reports can also be customized based upon what I'm looking to break down the reports into. Accounts payable, AR, PJ, or even custom groups like Marshall's reports, Keith's reports. All of this is highly customizable to facilitate what you need to group your reports by. In simply adding a report, I can hit my icon here in the top right to add in a new report. In doing so, I'm able to add the file directly from my file server, as well as provided a name. And in each of these fields, provide further information that is not only searchable, but context to the report that I'm saving. Here in the security roles, these are pulling in directly from 300 to allow my mobile projects users to have access, as well as additional users as well. If I'm setting up, project manager names as specific security roles, as well as the description of the report itself. I can also provide instructions, much like I would see in the details of running a report directly from the office. Things like, take into account this specific job number, only select weeks at a time. Those instructions can be simply filled out within this screen to account for step 1, fill out date. Selected too many things at once there. Sorry about that, folks. Fill out calendar, date. Number 2, select job. Now on the right-hand side, we have our groups and keywords. Our groups are calling back to that initial search functionality where I could type in a group name, accounts, and it's looking for the best fit. So I can select one that's already existing or even add a brand new group. So really this customizable feature is meant to be something specific to your company and what makes most sense to you. Along with those multiple groups selected, there's also keywords. This is also a great way to add in not necessarily group words, but just key specific words. AP. I could even put my name as a keyword in the event that I want to search for that later because the report is specific to me. Or I can add in here weekly. Anything and everything I need to make this report searchable and easily findable later on after when it's added. Once that report is saved within the list, I'm able to pull that up from my list as well as run it. You'll see some additional options in terms of creating favorites. So when I'm selecting my drop down from the top, I can easily get to my favorite reports. If I have 10 listed or 100 listed, I'm able to get to those quickly and easily. Now, as I'm running a report, let's try our JC summary. You'll receive all of the same date, job parameters, conditions like you normally would when you're running these reports from the office. So here it's allowing me to specify a date range as well as the GL period rollback that I'm looking to implement with this specific report. The details will have those description, instructions, groups, and keywords that I mentioned earlier. And really, I can generate this in PDF or Excel format. Now, in running these reports, you'll see that it's not going to pull it up directly without my page, but instead it's going to deliver it to my inbox. That way I can run several reports without having to rely on waiting for them to deliver to my screen. I can go through and fire off these reports as needed, and they will all deliver back into my inbox here within Sage Construction Central. Now, it's very subtle in what it did, but you'll see that little green bell over my inbox indicating some reports have arrived. So within here will be several of the reports that I've recently run, as well as run in the past. So you'll see my AR aging detail report, my JC summary report, all available for me to pull up and view within my browser with those details, as well as email them directly from here or even download. So you can see me as a user out in the field is now empowered to pull information directly from the database without being reliant or constrained by the users back in the office. Once these details are delivered to my mobile device and my website, I can either save these or remove these as needed. And again, these reports can be run for one company or folder or many different companies based upon my security access here at the very top that is dictated by the users back in the office. Now, as we've covered much of the mobile reports, we also want to highlight our mobile dashboards. This will be where your users will define, create, and view this dashboard information based upon your company data, building this out for accounts payable, accounts receivable, job costs, anything and everything within your company that may need visual awareness too. Now, a lot of these dashboards I've already configured and can kind of show you what essentially you can get accomplished with a lot of these dashboards. They'll be similar to how you're creating a custom report with a much more user-friendly interface, as in it's much more drag and drop versus having to know a lot of the data tables in the background. If you do know a lot of the data tables in the background, you'll recognize a lot of the fields and names within, but it's definitely not required. So with our mobile dashboards, they're broken into two parts: the report components and then the actual dashboards. These dashboards are made of specific parts that you can think of as mini reports. Our reports here are essentially pulled within the system and actually come with, out of the box, a bunch to begin with. AP, AR, a whole bunch that you can already start to use right from the get-go. So you can see a lot of everything, and here's a lot of aging, detail reports, as well as summary breakdowns, all already out of the box, so you can start to add these to your dashboards right from the get-go. Simply adding them to your dashboards and selecting the visual component that you wanted to show is pretty quick and easy. So with a lot of these, in terms of the report parts, if we drill into one specifically that I made, let's see here, the report accounts payable summary. Each of these visual representations are essentially parts. I can then add each of these parts to a specific dashboard. So here within my accounts payable summary report part, I have a pie chart, line chart, a bar chart, a gauge, and a list. Each of these are independent of each other, but still pulling from the same data of accounts payable. With each of these representations, adding them to my dashboard is fairly quick and easy, and I can also set these up or add even more. Pulling into my report part and my visual representations, I'm taken to my report part dashboard and creator. Here I can edit existing report parts where I can say, do I want the top 10 records or top 5? Easily updating this to configure the information to what I see, to what I want to see the most, whether that's, the color of the bars, how much information is showing, all the way down to the details and hover menus, depending upon on what I want to see, as well as maybe even these gauges. What represents, the green zone versus the yellow zone and the red. I get to dictate a lot of those features to ensure that I edit them accordingly and dictate those colors. So I can see within my thresholds, less than $2,000 of retainage will be in green. That's what our company strives for. The yellow bar will go up to 6,000, and anything over 6 is red zone. So I get to manage all of this information and dictate what that means the most to me based upon my company's policies. Here's where I can kind of dictate the different types of reports that I have, or even different report options. Gauges, charts, line charts, all within the system and available for me to edit and customize for my specific report part. As I come back to my dashboards and customize those, I have a few examples that we can take a look at. When I pull up my dashboard, let's say this gauge dashboard, it's going to have this large gauge in which I can easily manipulate and move the information to make it smaller or larger. I can also add additional report parts to my dashboard based upon my needs or what I needed to show. So much like the list of report parts that we saw earlier, I can quickly and easily filter out my list based upon what I'm looking to pull. I can add those report parts accordingly based upon what I want to see. adding in, along with my gauge, this pie chart of open amounts by vendor. I can further customize it like I did before with maybe just the top 5. Now, what will most likely happen for your company is that you'll make specific dashboards for specific people or even different departments within your company. That way, there's an executive dashboard that may have all of the information broken out per department or even maybe per company, as each of these report parts within a dashboard can actually be specific to a certain data folder. So if you have a electrical data folder or company versus the pre-construction company or folder, you can have them display the same pie chart, but for 2 different companies all on one screen. So you can compare and contrast those details within a meeting or a strategy meeting within partners to see where your company is currently at and where it could be going. As we take a look at a high-level final example dashboard here, you'll see several different report parts all within one dashboard, giving me all the details I may need for my company at that specific time and date. Now, as I also mentioned, you can create department-specific dashboards, whether you're looking at accounts payable dashboard or even a job cost-specific dashboard for a specific project, or even a specific cost code, or even a specific time and date range. With these, you're more so trying to dictate what exactly you want to see based upon the details you want. Now, with a lot of these dashboards as well, say a project summary dashboard, with those specific users who may have dashboards for their specific project, you may have a meeting every single week that says, your project managers are going to present where they're at with their different projects and jobs to determine profitability and where we could be much more efficient with the work. There's a presentation mode within the dashboard that allows you to present these much like a PowerPoint presentation. So once you've created these dashboards within the system, your users are able to edit, customize, and even present these at a high level to determine what exactly the information you need for that specific project. That way, rather than creating or having to learn a whole bunch of PowerPoint presentation skills, you're able to easily set this dashboard up for the user and they can make their decisions as well as present the information in a much more efficient way. Depending upon your dashboard setup, you can also create drill downs within these to kind of dictate what makes up this $2 million and create drill downs further into these details, much like a crystal report, and able to also pull back out in terms of drilling into these details at a high level or at a more granular level. So with a lot of the details we've taken a look at today, in summary, we've looked at adding reports as well as favorites, groups, and other key things you may need to deliver those reports to your users out in the field via that inbox back in our Sage Construction Central. With our mobile dashboards, we've broken it out into a few components, specifically multiple parts, which can be visual representations of charts, forms, and additional features that are specific per application. Those parts or components are then added to dashboards that can be easily manipulated and updated or customized for your admin users, and they're able to present that information at a high level to anyone in the company who may need visibility to that. Thank you for joining us and have a great rest of your week. Thank you.